The year is 1919. The First World War, a terrible and brutal war, is finally over. Germany is in ruins, defeated and ashamed. The once proud country is a shadow of its former self. Millions are dead, the economy is broken, people are starving. The Treaty of Versailles, signed at the Palace of Versailles, is the final blow. It is a harsh and cruel document. Germany is blamed for the war. It is forced to pay a lot of money, loses land and is humiliated in front of the whole world. The treaty is like a wound that won't heal. It creates resentment, anger and a strong desire for revenge. In all this chaos, a young Adolf Hitler comes home from the war. He was a soldier and received medals, but he is deeply upset by Germany's defeat. He blames the politicians, the communists and the Jewish people for Germany's loss. The beginning of his terrible ideas starts here. Hitler finds a purpose in the mess of post-war Germany. The Treaty of Versailles becomes his battle cry. He uses the anger and shame of the German people. His message is simple, strong and very dangerous. He promises to make Germany great again, to get revenge for the humiliation of Versailles, and to create a Reich that will last 1,000 years. Hitler is a captivating speaker. He is very good at persuading people. He speaks to the worst fears and desires of desperate people. His words connect with those who lost everything in the war. He joins a small, extreme political party called the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party. He quickly becomes important in the party. His charisma and powerful speeches attract large crowds. The Nazi Party offers a tempting message: national unity, a better economy, and racial purity. It promises to create order, create jobs, and get rid of Germany's enemies. This message appeals to people in a time of chaos and hopelessness. Feeling confident because he is becoming popular, Hitler tries to take over the government in 1923. The Beer Hall Putsch, as it's called, is a risky attempt. It fails completely. Hitler is arrested and put in jail for treason, but his trial becomes a chance to spread his message to more people. He makes himself look like a patriot, a visionary, someone willing to fight for Germany's future. Going to prison makes him look like a hero to his followers. Mein Kampf, the blueprint of hate. While in jail, Hitler writes his autobiography, Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. It's a confusing, hate-filled book that describes his terrible ideology. It shows his plans for Germany, getting rid of democracy, persecuting Jewish people, and taking over Eastern Europe. It becomes the plan for the Nazi nightmare that will soon take over Europe. Mein Kampf is a scary example of the power of words. It reminds us that ideas, even dangerous ones, can have terrible results. The stock market crash of 1929 causes the Great Depression all over the world. Germany, already in trouble, is hit very hard. Unemployment goes way up. Millions of people become poor. The Weimar Republic, weak and unstable, can't seem to stop the economic collapse. The Nazis, with their promises of national unity and a better economy, take advantage of the desperation of the people. They promise jobs, stability, and a return to greatness. They become much more popular. In the 1932 elections, they become the biggest party in the Reichstag, the German parliament. On February 27, 1933, the Reichstag building is set on fire. The Nazis blame the communists and use the fire as an excuse to take more control. Fear and paranoia spread through the nation. People's freedoms are taken away. Political enemies are arrested and put in jail. The Reichstag Fire is a major turning point in German history. It marks the beginning of the end for the Weimar Republic and the start of the Nazi dictatorship. With the country in chaos, Hitler forces the Enabling Act to be passed. This law gives him complete power. He can now make laws without the agreement of Parliament. The Weimar Republic, already very weak, dies. Germany is now a dictatorship. The Enabling Act shows how fragile democracy can be. It shows how easily a small, determined group can use fear and chaos to take total control. Hitler quickly strengthens his power. He eliminates all opposition, real or imagined. In the summer of 1934, during the Night of the Long Knives, he orders the murder of his political rivals, even people in his own party. Terror becomes the government's main tool. The Night of the Long Knives sends a terrifying message. Anyone who opposes the Nazi regime will not be allowed to live. It is the beginning of a reign of terror that will last for 12 long years. Propaganda is very important in Hitler's rise to power. He understands how images and words can change what people think. He creates a cult of personality, making himself look like Germany's savior. He uses radio, movies, and big rallies to spread his message of hate and intolerance. The Nazi propaganda machine is very effective. It makes Jewish people look evil, glorifies war, and encourages blind obedience to the Führer. It creates an atmosphere of fear and conformity, silencing anyone who disagrees. Hitler's rise to power has terrible consequences. He starts the deadliest conflict in human history, World War II. His reign of terror kills millions of people, including 6 million Jewish people systematically murdered in the Holocaust. The Holocaust is a powerful reminder of the dangers of uncontrolled hatred and the importance of fighting against intolerance and discrimination of all kinds. The rise and fall of Adolf Hitler is a warning for all time. It teaches us to be watchful, how easily democracy can be destroyed, and the terrible results of hatred and indifference. It reminds us that we never really learn the lessons of history. We have a responsibility to remember the victims, to learn from the past, and to fight against all forms of intolerance and discrimination. We must make sure that such horrors never happen again. For our children and the future of humanity, we must never forget.